Want to become a master negotiator? These 12 powerful negotiation quotes will give you the edge you need to succeed. Quote 1. The person across the table is never the problem. The unsolved issue is, so focus on the issue. When we're negotiating, it's incredibly easy to fall into the trap of seeing the other person as our adversary, the obstacle standing between us and what we want. But this mindset immediately creates conflict that blocks progress. What Voss is teaching us here is revolutionary in its simplicity. Separating people from problems changes everything. When I stopped viewing difficult clients as difficult people and started seeing them as partners facing the same problem from a different angle, my success rate skyrocketed. This perspective shift is powerful because it allows both parties to work together against the problem rather than against each other. By focusing on the issue rather than blaming the person, you create a psychological safe space where real negotiation can happen. Quote 2. Tactical empathy is understanding the feelings and mindset of another in the moment to get an agreement done. It's emotional intelligence on steroids. This isn't about being nice or sympathetic. It's a strategic application of emotional intelligence. Where traditional negotiation focuses on logic and positions, Voss revolutionizes the approach by leveraging how humans actually make decisions, through emotions first, logic second. Tactical empathy means actively identifying what the other person is feeling and demonstrating that understanding. The beauty of this approach is that when people feel genuinely understood, they become more flexible, open to influence, and willing to collaborate. Quote 3. No starts the negotiation, not the end of it. We've been conditioned to fear the word no, but it is a statement of perception far more often than a fact. This completely flips conventional wisdom on its head. We've all been trained to chase the yes, but Voss reveals something counterintuitive. No is actually more valuable. When someone says no, they feel safe and in control, which paradoxically makes them more open to continuing the conversation. Think about your own experience. When a pushy salesperson corners you into saying yes, you feel trapped. But when you can comfortably say no, you relax. That's precisely when real negotiation can begin. A no simply means I'm not comfortable with this yet. It's an invitation to explore what would make the other person comfortable. Quote 4. He who has learned to disagree without being disagreeable has discovered the most valuable secret of negotiation. This gem of wisdom captures the essence of effective communication in high-stakes situations. The art of maintaining respectful dialogue while holding firm on substance is what separates master negotiators from average ones. The moment a negotiation turns personally antagonistic, the chance of reaching a good outcome plummets. Disagreeing without being disagreeable means you can express contrary positions while preserving the relationship. It's about saying, I see things differently, and here's why, rather than, you're wrong. This approach creates psychological safety for both parties, allowing for the honest exchange of perspectives without triggering defensive reactions. The most effective negotiators maintain warm, positive personal interactions while being absolutely firm on the issues that matter. Quote 5. Deadlines are the bogeymen of negotiation, almost exclusively self-inflicted figments of our imagination, unnecessarily unsettling us for no good reason. The pressure of deadlines often forces us into concessions we later regret. What Voss brilliantly exposes here is that most deadlines are artificial constructs designed to create pressure. When we recognize this psychological tactic, we can resist its influence. Understanding that deadlines are rarely as firm as presented gives you tremendous psychological advantage. It allows you to maintain composure when others are panicking. This doesn't mean ignoring time constraints altogether, but rather assessing them critically. Ask yourself, what really happens if we pass this deadline? Often the answer is very little, which gives you the confidence to negotiate patiently for better terms. Quote 6. Never split the difference. Creative solutions are almost always preceded by some degree of risk, annoyance, confusion, and conflict. This quote challenges the conventional wisdom that compromise is the goal of negotiation. When we rush to meet in the middle, we often leave value on the table and both parties end up dissatisfied. The uncomfortable truth is that the path to creative, value-maximizing solutions often runs through difficult emotions and apparent impasses. When we push through these challenging moments, rather than taking the easy way out, we often discover solutions that satisfy everyone's core interests. Quote 7, beware yes master no. Yes is often a meaningless answer that hides deeper objections. This builds on Voss's counterintuitive approach to the word no. When someone says yes too quickly or too easily, it often masks unresolved concerns or a desire to end the conversation without commitment. In fact, 3 different types of yes exist. Counterfeit, saying yes to get you to go away. Confirmation, simple acknowledgement. And commitment, the only one that leads to action. Learning to distinguish between these types and to welcome no as a starting point transforms how you handle conversations. Be more suspicious of quick agreement than of initial rejection. When someone says no, they're engaged and honest. When they say an uncommitted yes, they're often just avoiding conflict while harboring unspoken objections that will derail implementation later. Quote 8, your most powerful tool in any verbal communication is your voice. You can use your voice to intentionally reach into someone's brain and flip an emotional switch. How we say something often matters more than what we say. The book identifies 3 specific voice tones that skilled negotiators consciously deploy. The late-night FM DJ voice, which is calm, slow, and reassuring for delivering bad news or creating trust. The positive or playful voice, which is easygoing and light for building rapport and openness. And the assertive voice, which is used sparingly when setting boundaries. Mastering these voice modulations has completely transformed difficult conversations in my life. When someone is escalating emotionally, switching to the calm, deep DJ voice immediately changes their physiological response and de-escalates tension. It's like having a superpower that influences others' emotional states. Quote 9, the most powerful word in negotiations is fair. As human beings, we're mightily swayed by how much we feel we have been respected. Our desire to be treated fairly runs incredibly deep in our psychological makeup. Voss found that people will often reject economically beneficial deals if they feel the process or outcome is unfair. This works both defensively and offensively in negotiations. When someone says, "I just want what's fair," be careful. They're often positioning to gain advantage. Conversely, acknowledging your commitment to fairness creates powerful goodwill. I found that explicitly addressing fairness concerns up front prevents many negotiation impasses later. It's not about manipulation, but about recognizing and respecting this fundamental human need. Quote 10. Your goal at the outset is to extract and observe as much information as possible. Listening is the cheapest, yet most effective concession we can make. Active listening isn't just polite, it's strategically valuable. The more the other side talks, the more information they reveal, and the more advantages you gain. Yet most people enter negotiations focused on making their points rather than extracting information. Voss's approach flips this completely. By asking calibrated questions and then truly listening, you learn critical information about the other side's interests, constraints, and decision-making process. This information becomes your strategic advantage. Simply mastering the discipline of curiosity, asking genuine questions and listening carefully to the answers, has provided more negotiation leverage than any clever argument or tactic. Quote 11. People need to feel in control. When you preserve their autonomy by clearly giving them permission to say no, the emotions calm, and the effectiveness of decisions goes up. This psychological insight is perhaps the most powerful in Voss's entire approach. When people feel forced or cornered, they resist, often irrationally. By explicitly preserving their autonomy, you paradoxically increase your influence. Phrases like, "feel free to say no to this," or "this might not work for you," create psychological safety that makes people more, not less, likely to agree. They're no longer fighting for control because you've already given it to them. I've transformed high-tension negotiations by deliberately giving the other side permission to reject proposals, which counterintuitively led to more agreements and better implementation afterward. Quote 12, no deal is better than a bad deal. This final quote captures the strategic patience that defines master negotiators. The willingness to walk away is your strongest position, but it requires both confidence and the actual ability to live without agreement. Voss teaches that preparation before negotiation includes defining your best alternative to a negotiated agreement, BATNA, understanding exactly what you'll do if no deal is reached. When your BATNA is strong and clear in your mind, you negotiate from a position of genuine strength. I've watched anxious negotiators accept terrible terms because they couldn't imagine walking away, while prepared negotiators achieved excellent outcomes because the other side sensed they weren't desperate for agreement at any cost. Which quote resonated with you the most? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.